Salisbury.
In the speech from the throne, this so-called new Liberal government claimed that they would tackle crime while protecting the rights of law-abiding gun owners. It was a staggering admission of failure by a government that saw illegal gun crime skyrocket by 130%. Since then, they have shown that they are no different than the last Liberal government. Not only will they spend 4 times as much money to harass legal gun owners than criminals and gangs, but they have doubled down on their promise to finish their gun grab within the year. In an astonishing turn of events, both the Prime Minister and his Public Safety Minister have now said that their gun grab will be voluntary. But now, in a leaked audio clip, the Public Safety Minister was caught saying that Canadians would never get arrested if they didn't turn in their now prohibited guns. Is the minister suggesting that gun owners follow gun laws the same way the last Liberal Prime Minister followed ethics laws? Does the Prime Minister and the Public Safety Minister realize that it's a crime to counsel people to not follow the law?
Leader of the Opposition.
The Liberals are setting criminals free. They're wasting money. They are targeting sports shooters and recreational shooters who abide by the law. The Liberals have increased firearm-related crime by 30%. That we already knew. Yet the Minister of Public Safety accidentally revealed the truth and was recorded doing so. He said that confiscating the firearms of law-abiding firearm owners was a waste of money. Does the Prime Minister agree with his minister?
Merci pour la question.
Thank you for the question.
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday I had a conversation with an individual that I've known for many years who recorded it without my knowledge and had it leaked to a gun lobbyist. In that conversation, Mr. Speaker, the subject of the assault-style firearms buyback compensation program was discussed. In trying to address this issue, Mr. Speaker, the individual's frustration, my comments were misguided. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, it's important to have the program in place. This is what Canadians are looking for. And I do want to note that the Leader of the Opposition has voted against every single gun measure.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
By freeing rampant gun criminals and wasting billions of dollars of police and border resources targeting law-abiding, licensed, trained and tested firearms owners, this government has overseen a 130% increase in violent gun crime. But over the weekend, the Minister of Public Safety accidentally told the truth, and he was recorded doing it. He said that the gun grab is not worth the money, that it will go over budget, and it would be better just to lock up the criminals, but that they're going ahead with the bad policy because it's good politics. Does the Prime Minister agree?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, it's a good thing there's a recording of it so that Canadians can have a look for themselves. Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. They wanted it in 1989 after a man killed 14 women at École Polytechnique. They wanted it after 6 people were murdered at the Quebec City mosque shooting. And they wanted it after the biggest mass shooting in our history, where a man opened fire and killed 22 people in Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives against keeping guns off our streets?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the minister said that his gun grab won't work, that it will go over budget, and that it would be better to lock up criminals, as Conservatives have been suggesting, but that they're going ahead with the gun grab anyway because the Prime Minister wants to pursue electoral politics. Electoral politics, Mr. Speaker. When a mother is hit with a stray bullet, or a police officer is murdered by a firearm, or a bullet flies into a child's bedroom as part of an extortion case, we don't have time for politics. So why is this minister caught on tape playing politics with guns?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, in order to have a real conversation about crime, we need to have a real conversation about guns. Canadians want responsible gun control, Mr. Speaker. They wanted it in 1989 after a man killed 14 women at École Polytechnique. They wanted it after 6 people were murdered at the Quebec City mosque shooting, and they wanted it after the biggest mass shooting in our history where a man opened fire and killed 22 people in Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives against keeping guns off our streets, and why has this leader of the opposition voted against every single gun control measure that he has been in Parliament for?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That minister did have a real conversation about guns. Unfortunately for him, he was caught on tape. Caught on tape, admitting that the gun grab is a waste of money. Caught on tape, admitting it would go over budget. Caught on tape, admitting it would be better just to lock up the gun criminals who are actually doing the crime. Why is it that Liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, it's actually a good thing that this conversation was caught on tape. And in fact, it will counter every single claim that this leader of the opposition is making. Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. We are in a position as a government, we committed to it during the last campaign, Mr. Speaker. Canadians gave us a mandate on April the 28th to ensure that we move forward on this program, and we look forward to its implementation.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, while this government blocks criminal justice reforms that would lock up gun criminals, they want to go ahead and take nearly $1 billion away from border security and police officers to go after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested hunters and sport shooters, a project that the OPP refuses to enforce. Numerous provincial governments have said they will not go ahead with. They've even had to ask Canada Post to go and collect these firearms. The minister himself has now admitted that it won't work. Why won't they drop the politics and save lives?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, if the member is concerned about advancing legislation that's actually going to keep Canadians safe, he would work across the aisle with us as we seek to table legislation during this legislative sitting to ensure that violent repeat offenders are kept behind bars, to make sure the most serious offenders are actually facing stiffer penalties. But, Mr. Speaker, it is hard to accept criticism when it comes to keeping our community safe from gun violence from a member who, for more than 2 decades, has voted against the very specific measures that are designed to take guns off our streets, and he has voted repeatedly on the measures that will weaken our border to prevent the inflow of guns in the first place.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I and we have voted against policies that have given Canada a 130% increase in gun violence. And speaking of getting things through Parliament, he says seek to introduce. This government has been in place for 10 years. They have softened penalties for repeat offenders. That minister took the summer off and still has not introduced any criminal justice reforms to stop guns. We put forward a 3 strikes you're out law that would lock up the repeat violent offenders. Instead, they're spending $700 million of police resources going after licensed law-abiding people. Why?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, I have news for my friend on the other side of the House of Commons. If he believes that I haven't moved forward with legislative efforts this sitting when it comes to criminal justice reform, I would have invited him to have shown up for work on Friday last week where we did that very thing. Mr. Speaker, he should look forward this fall sitting to seeing 2 additional pieces of criminal legislative reform. One on bail and sentencing that will make sure violent repeat offenders are not walking amongst our streets, and a second that will protect those who are at risk of intimate partner violence or at risk of being victimized by sexual offenses. And when it comes to the summer, I was meeting with law enforcement and provincial counterparts. He was fighting for his job.
The public safety minister told the truth. It's true. He spoke about how this confiscation buyback is an incredible boondoggle. Now let's actually hear what he had to say. This is the mandate I was given by the Prime Minister to complete this and not revisit this. It sounds like he doesn't even believe in this. So if the public safety minister doesn't believe in this program, why are we spending $742 million taxpayer dollars to keep it going?
Here, here. Great.
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, I've addressed this issue a number of times, but let me just make it very personal, Mr. Speaker. The last 4 months in this role as Minister of Public Safety, I've received a great deal of vitriol from the gun lobby, Mr. Speaker. If you go into my social media accounts, you will see hundreds, if not thousands, of comments of hatred that's coming through the gun lobby, Mr. Speaker. What the party opposite is doing is reinforcing that. We have a serious plan to ensure that guns are off our streets. That's why we will be going forward and implementing this program, Mr. Speaker. I invite the party opposite to come on board and ensure that our streets are safe.
Honourable member for Kamloops, Thompson, Nicola.
It's always somebody else's fault, Mr. Speaker. What this minister fails to mention is that in Bill C-5, he voted so that people who do drive-by shootings can serve their sentence on house arrest.
Shame.
People who do robberies with guns, house arrest, Mr. Speaker. Nobody wants a part of this program. Canada Post doesn't want a part of it. Local law enforcement doesn't want a part of it. OPP doesn't want a part of this $742 million boondoggle. The minister told us that he just has to put it to an end. So why are they still intent on having this program go forward when all he wants to do is end it?
Here, here.
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives constantly want U.S.-style politics here, whether it's the 3 strikes or you're out rule or assault rifles on our streets, which the Conservatives would make legal again.
That's right.
Mr. Speaker, we've seen these policies fail in the U.S., and they won't work here either. Come up with some comprehensive, meaningful change, like the change that we're going to bring with bail reform and sentencing reform, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Oxford.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberal gun grab scam unfairly targets law-abiding Canadians while giving criminals a free pass. This failed scam has been rejected by the police, the provinces, Canada Post, and now even their own public safety minister. In a leaked audio, he says that the Prime Minister pressured him. He admits that this plan won't work, and he even promised to pay his tenant's bail if he's arrested. You can't make this up, Mr. Speaker. What they say in public versus what they say behind closed doors is totally the opposite. So if the minister won't stand behind his own plan, why should Canadians foot the $700 million bill for their scam?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, we're moving forward in a responsible way to make sure that gun ownership in Canada is safe. There is no reason to have assault-style firearms on our streets or in our homes. Mr. Speaker, we're going to be responsible. We're going to make sure that we don't have the gun crisis that we see in the United States just south of us. If Conservatives have their way, they'd make guns free and legal for everyone.
The Honourable Member for York Centre.
Conservatives have been saying from day one that the gun buyback program is an awful idea. Law-abiding gun owners don't commit gun crime with lawfully purchased guns. Criminals commit gun crime. Gun criminals who terrorize our streets because of the Liberals' failure on law and order. We know that the OPP won't participate in the program. Canada Post won't participate in the program. Local police won't participate in the program. Now we learn that the Minister of Public Safety doesn't want to participate in it either. Why is this minister going ahead with a program that he doesn't want to participate in?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives need to get serious about resolving and coming up with solutions when it comes to crime, when it comes to firearms in our country. When they were in government, Mr. Speaker, they cut funding to the RCMP, to our borders, and they would go back and make assault-style firearms legal in our country. If they cared so much about the safety of our nation, maybe their leaders should get a security clearance.
The Honourable Member for Vaughan Woodbridge.
Leaked audio from the Public Safety Minister revealed the truth. Not even he believes the Liberal gun confiscation program will work. He begged a law-abiding citizen, and I quote, "Don't ask me to explain the logic to you. He knows it's wrong." And he admits the Prime Minister is forcing him to ram this failed policy through, even though he knows it won't fix their soft-on-crime record. So, why is the minister still proceeding with this $742 million boondoggle when even he admits it's a failure?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 35 years ago, I was shot by a legal gun-buying order, and since then, what Canadians want is assault-style firearms to get off our streets, and this is going to happen this year.